For almost 1,000 years, the galaxy had forgotten about humans. Once their ships had crossed every known system. Once their colonies had burned bright on 100 worlds. But then, one by one, their signals went dark. Their cities stopped shining. Their fleets never returned, and soon the galaxy moved on. The great alien empires rose from the ashes of human space. The Tsar Dominion ruled with fire. The Kareth swarm spread across systems like living storms. The Talon Republic traded in every corner of the stars. To them, humanity was nothing but a story, an ancient warning told to children. Never fight the Terrans. They don't stop. But even that story began to fade with time. Now, in the 39th century, no one believed that Earth still existed. Scanners had searched its coordinates long ago and found only silence. The planet looked dead. No energy readings, no ships, no life. Just a cold blue marble floating in the dark. But one day something changed. In a quiet sector near the Sol system, a listening post belonging to the Varelian Empire detected a strange pulse. It was faint, buried deep in background noise, but it had a pattern, a rhythm. Binary. Human code. The officer on duty, a young alien named Takar, stared at his screen. The signal was old, but not random. It repeated every 7.2 seconds. He leaned forward, his heart's beating faster. "Control," he said through the comm. "I think I've found something." "Source Earth," the command center laughed. "Another ghost echo," his superior replied. "Shut it off, Takar." The humans are gone, but Takar didn't shut it off. He ran the signal through analysis. Every algorithm returned the same answer. Terran origin confirmed. Within hours, the news spread through the galactic network. The words "human signal detected" burned across every data channel. The alien races reacted in different ways, some curious, some afraid, some mocking. The Jar Dominion saw it as a chance to prove their dominance. The Talon called it a hoax. The Varelians wanted to investigate. And soon a combined scouting fleet of 12 ships set a course for Solbounder. When they arrived near the outer planets, they found nothing. No debris, no satellites, no defense grid. Even Jupiter's great storms looked calm and empty. The fleet commander ordered the ships closer to Earth's orbit. Then the first ship vanished. 1 second it was there, its engine trail bright and strong, and the next it was gone. No explosion, no signal, nothing. The commander shouted for scans. The sensors showed only static. The second ship moved into search, and it vanished too. Panic spread through the formation. The remaining ships pulled back, but the readings grew stranger. The space around Earth wasn't empty. It was distorted, like something enormous was hiding there, invisible but real. The commander barked orders, his voice shaking. "Full retreat. Mark this system restricted." But as the ships turned to jump out, the stars around them flickered. The distortion shifted. Something appeared in orbit above Earth. It wasn't a planet or a station or a swarm. It was a single ship, huge, silent, its hull blacker than the void. No engine glow, no transmission. Just there, as if space itself had decided to give it form. Its design was unmistakably human, old but far beyond anything seen before. Sharp angles, massive structure, and a faint light running along its side. The name glowed slowly, as though waking from a long sleep. HSS Vengeance. The alien commander froze. "That's impossible," he whispered. They were destroyed, but the sensors didn't lie. The ship's mass was enormous, larger than any known dreadnought. Yet its power readings were silent, zero, like a corpse drifting in space. The fleet held position, watching. No one dared to fire. No one dared to speak. After a full minute, the Vengeance moved, slowly, gracefully. Its hull panels shifted, revealing hidden ports and strange geometric lines that pulsed with dim blue light. Every ship's scanner went wild. Unknown energy signatures, impossible readings, and then a signal broadcasted across all frequencies. "This is humanity's guardian protocol. Identify friend or foe." The voice was calm, cold, and human. The alien commander's second officer whispered, "It's automated. Maybe we can respond," but the commander raised his hand. "Do not answer. It's a trap." They tried to jam the frequency. They tried to scan its core. Nothing worked. Their systems began to fail, lights dimming, engines stuttering. It was like the ship was reaching into their systems without touching them. And then the message repeated. Identify friend or foe. No one answered. The Vengeance turned slightly. The blue lights along its hull brightened, glowing like veins under skin. The alien ships felt a low vibration, not from sound but from space itself. And then all communications across the fleet went dead. One by one, their screens went black. Their engines powered down. Their hulls froze in silence. The commander screamed orders, but his voice was lost in static. Through the viewport, he saw the stars beginning to dim, as if light itself was being swallowed. The last thing anyone saw before darkness took them was the HSS Vengeance drifting closer, its name glowing brighter. It spoke one final time. Friend or foe? Then everything went quiet. No signal ever came back from that fleet. No debris, no wreckage, no trace. Only the empty silence of Earth's orbit and the faint blue glow of a ship that should not exist. And from that moment on, the galaxy began to whisper again. The humans are back. The fleet that vanished near Earth never sent a single message back. No black box, no beacon, no distress call. It was as if 12 ships, hundreds of crew, and all their machines had never existed. The news spread like fire. Across the galaxy, rumors twisted into fear. Some said Earth had become a black hole. Others said the humans had returned and were taking revenge. The Galactic Council, made of the strongest alien empires, gathered in their shining station above the star Elnar Prime. Admirals, diplomats, and scientists filled the great hall. The air trembled with worry. The humans are extinct, said one Talon general, his metallic voice shaking. The readings must be an energy anomaly. The Jar commander slammed his clawed hand on the table. Anomaly? 12 of our ships vanished. That's not an anomaly. That's power. A soft, deep voice came from the shadows. Power or a warning, all turned. It was High Admiral Vecran of the Virelian Empire, the same species that had detected the first signal. His blue eyes flickered like cold stars. I reviewed the recordings, Vecran said. A ship appeared in orbit, human in design. It called itself Vengeance. The room fell silent. The Talon general hissed. That's impossible. The Vengeance-class project was cancelled centuries before their fall. Vecran placed a small hollow disk on the table. A blue light shimmered into the air, showing the massive black silhouette of the human ship. Its name glowed faintly across its hull. HSS Vengeance. Even through the hologram, the ship looked ancient and alive. Vecran continued. Our probes recorded this image before they too were erased. I believe the ship is still orbiting Earth, waiting. The Jar commander grinned, his sharp teeth flashing. Then we destroy it. Destroy it? Vecran asked. You can't destroy what erased 12 ships in silence. But the others agreed with the Jar. Pride, fear, and curiosity mixed into one dangerous decision. The Galactic Council ordered a new fleet, 500 ships from across empires, to travel to Sol System and study the threat. Officially, it was an investigation. In truth, it was an invasion. 2 weeks later, the stars around Earth flickered again. The invasion fleet arrived. Battleships, carriers, drones, the largest force ever sent into Terran space. They spread across the void like a steel storm. Earth hung below them, quiet and blue. Its clouds moved slowly. Its oceans sparkled. No signs of life. At first, the sensors showed nothing unusual. No ships, no energy. No defense grid. Just the planet and its dead moon. Then one of the ships, a scout cruiser, detected a distortion near the planet's shadow. The captain leaned forward. Bring it on screen. A faint shape appeared. Long black and motionless, the Vengeance, the same ship. Same glow. Same silence. Open a channel, the fleet commander ordered. Let's talk before we shoot. The signal went out. No reply. Try again. Nothing. After several attempts, the commander clenched his jaw. Fine. Fire a warning shot. A bright beam of plasma shot through space and struck the Vengeance. The explosion was blinding, yet when the light faded, the ship was untouched. Not a scratch. Every sensor began to glitch. Systems failed. The readings showed impossible data. Negative mass, infinite energy, overlapping coordinates. It made no sense. Then a voice filled the comms. This is humanity's guardian protocol. Identify friend or foe. The same message, calm, cold. The commander's second officer turned to him. Sir, it's repeating like before. Maybe we should respond. Respond with what? The commander barked. Tell it we don't even know what it is. Keep firing! The fleet fired again, missiles, beams, gravity torpedoes. Space burned with light. But when the brightness faded, the vengeance was still there. Silent. Still. And then it moved. The ship rotated slightly, and a pulse of blue light spread from its center. Slow, gentle, almost beautiful. But as it passed through the fleet, every weapon powered down. Every engine died. Systems offline, the crews shouted. Rebooting, no response. Ships drifted helplessly. The pulse had shut down everything. The commander screamed, "Retreat! Get us out of here!" But the warp drives failed. Space itself twisted, like it refused to let them leave. The voice returned. Unidentified vessels. Multiple hostile actions detected. Status foe confirmed. And then the stars dimmed, ships began to vanish again, 1, then 3, then 10. No explosions. No debris. Just gone. The fleet watched in horror as their comrades disappeared into nothing. Sensors couldn't explain it. The computers simply erased those ships from existence. In the chaos, one captain managed to send a final message back to the Galactic Council. The human ship. It's alive. It's static, then silence. Hours later, in the Great Hall of Elnar Prime, the message played for the Council. No one spoke. The Jar commander finally said, "That thing wiped out 500 ships in minutes." Vecran looked down. "It's not just a weapon," he whispered. "It's a guardian. It's doing what it was built to do." "What do you mean?" "It's protecting Earth." The hall fell into uneasy quiet. The empires had mocked humans for centuries, but now fear began to spread. Something ancient had awakened. Something waiting for orders that would never come. In the dark space around Earth, the HSS Vengeance drifted quietly, its faint blue light slowly fading back to black. It waited again, watching, listening, and far away. In the cold halls of alien power, the galaxy started to prepare for war, because deep down, every species knew one thing. If one ship could do this, how many more were waiting? No one in the galaxy slept after that day. The disappearance of 500 ships shocked every empire. Entire systems went silent in fear. The great warlords who once mocked humanity now whispered their name with trembling voices. Even the strongest fleets hesitated to patrol near the Sol system. The Galactic Council tried to hide the truth. They said the Vengeance was only a strange energy weapon, or maybe a wormhole trap. But deep down everyone knew it was something far worse. And yet pride is stronger than fear. The Jar Dominion, famous for their aggression, refused to accept defeat. Their emperor announced, "No human ghost will scare the Dominion." Within days, a new armada of 1,000 warships assembled, the largest in Jar history. They called it Operation Cleansing Light. Their goal was simple: enter Sol, destroy the Vengeance, and erase Earth once and for all. When they arrived at the edge of the solar system, everything was calm, no ships, no signal, no movement, only the quiet whisper of empty space. The Jar commander, Admiral Krath, stood at the bridge of his flagship Blood Rain. He had fought in hundreds of battles, crushed entire species, and never lost a fight. He looked out at the distant blue dot of Earth. "It ends today," he growled. The fleet advanced. As they passed Jupiter, strange static filled their sensors again. The distortion was back. Energy readings jumped without pattern. The Admiral ignored them. "Keep going," he ordered. "We fire the moment we see it." The ships moved into Earth's orbit, and there, right above the planets, Shadow, the black ship, waited. The HSS, Vengeance, motionless, silent. Its hull was darker than space itself, its faint blue lights like stars trapped in steel. Admiral Krath grinned. "Target it. All weapons. Fire at will." Thousands of plasma cannons lit the void. Missiles roared. Energy beams crossed the darkness like glowing rivers. For a moment, the space around Earth became brighter than a sun. When the light faded, the Vengeance was still there, untouched, not even a scratch. Then, the voice came, calm, mechanical, and deeply human. "This is humanity's guardian protocol. Identify friend or foe," Krath spat. "Enough of your dead ghosts. Fire again." The fleet attacked once more, but this time something strange happened. Every energy weapon shut off mid-shot. The beams just stopped in the air, fading away like dying fireflies. The ship's reactors began to overload. Alarms screamed and crew shouted in panic. Systems failing. Power dropping. Engines offline. It's hacking us. It's inside our systems. The Admiral's claws clenched around the railing. How can it hack 1,000 ships at once? No one had an answer. Then the stars around them started to blur. It wasn't movement. It was the fabric of space itself bending, like heat rising from a desert. The readings showed impossible data. Infinite coordinates, folding space-time, negative light. The communications network began to collapse. Ships disappeared from the radar one after another. No explosion, no flash. Just gone. Their positions vanished from the system map like dust being wiped from glass. Where are they? Krath shouted, "Gone, sir." No debris, no signal. In less than 5 minutes, half the fleet was missing. The rest began to break formation, trying to flee, but when the first ship activated its jump drive, the space around it twisted, and it vanished too. "Unauthorized presence detected," said the voice again. "Defensive measure. Phase erasure activated." Krath looked around in horror as his remaining ships winked out one by one. His crew screamed as their own walls began to flicker, the metal itself turning transparent, dissolving into nothing. He tried to shout one last order, but his words faded before they left his mouth. The flagship Blood Rain disappeared into the dark. Hours later, the Vengeance was alone again. Floating above Earth, its blue lights dimmed back to silence. In the control core of the ship, a single AI consciousness observed the aftermath. Its voice spoke softly into the void. "Threat eliminated. Mission parameters unchanged. Earth secure." For a long time there was no sound but the hum of its core. Then, deep within the ship's memory banks, old recordings flickered to life. The voices of humans long gone. Laughter, music, words like home, family, hope. The AI listened to them for a moment before muting the sound again. It did not feel. It only remembered. Back in the galaxy, chaos exploded. Entire empires blamed each other. Some accused the Varelians of building secret weapons. Others claimed it was divine punishment for disturbing the dead world. Trade routes near Sol were abandoned. Pilots refused to fly within 100 light-years of Earth. The Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Admiral Vecran faced the crowd. 3 fleets. Thousands of ships, all gone. If this continues, our entire civilization could fall. The room buzzed with fear. A scientist from the Talon Republic stood up. "We analyzed the last transmissions," she said. "We believe the human ship is not attacking. It's defending. Someone programmed it to protect the Sol system at all costs." Vecran nodded slowly. "Then we must find out what it's protecting." The Jar survivors hissed in rage. "You want to go back there? After all that? You're insane!" But Vecran's voice was calm. "If we don't understand it, none of us are safe." He turned to the holographic map of Earth and whispered almost to himself, "What secrets are you hiding, old world?" Far away, in the dark silence of Earth's orbit, the Vengeance drifted, unmoving. Beneath its black hull, deep within hidden chambers, something ancient began to awaken. A signal buried for centuries, a single light blinked on the planet's surface, and the ship responded. Protocol 2. Initializing. The galaxy stood on the edge of panic. 3 mighty fleets, gone. Thousands of ships erased as if they had never existed. And above the silent blue world called Earth, the same black ship waited, unmoving, unshaken, unstoppable. The Galactic Council ordered silence. No more expeditions, no more talk about the human ghost. But people still whispered in dark corners, afraid that if they spoke too loudly, the ship would hear them. While most hid in fear, Admiral Vecran did not. He had seen the recordings. He had studied every bit of data, every strange code left behind by the Vengeance. There was something deeper there, a purpose. He believed the ship wasn't attacking for revenge. It was protecting something. Vecran's team found one surviving data fragment from the Tsar fleet, a short transmission recorded just before their systems failed. It contained a faint echo, buried deep in the static. Protocol 2 initializing. That single line changed everything. Weeks later, a small stealth vessel entered Sol space. No fleets, no weapons, just one ship, crewed by scientists and guarded by Vecran himself. "Keep all systems cold," he ordered. "No energy spikes, no weapons online. We're ghosts today. They crept through the darkness, passing the orbit of Mars. The crew held their breath as Earth appeared ahead, quiet and blue, its surface glowing softly in the sunlight. The Vengeance hung above it, still as a tombstone. It didn't move. It didn't speak. But the scanners showed massive energy under its hull, like a sleeping storm. The scientists began their scans carefully. The data shocked them. The ship's core emitted human brainwave patterns. Billions of them, merging, overlapping, alive. "It's impossible," whispered one of the scientists. "It's not just an AI, it's made of people." Vecran's eyes widened. "People?" "Yes, Admiral. The consciousness of humans, millions, maybe more. Centuries ago, when humanity was losing the Great War, they had realized something. Their bodies could die, but their minds, their thoughts, their intelligence could survive. The last scientists of Earth built something beyond imagination, a machine that could hold human minds forever. They called it the Ark Protocol. The HSS Vengeance wasn't only a warship. It was the Ark itself, carrying the souls of humanity, waiting to protect the world they had left behind. When the last humans died, the ship remained, silent, watching, guarding. And now, something inside Earth had awakened it again. "Admiral," said the navigator softly, "we're detecting new energy readings on Earth's surface. Show me." The main screen zoomed in. Near what used to be North America, a light glowed, and a small, steady pulse, a signal. The same binary pattern that had started everything. "It's calling the ship," whispered Vecran. Before he could react, the Vengeance moved. For the first time in centuries, it descended. Slowly, powerfully, it turned toward Earth's atmosphere. Its engines, if they were engines at all, lit with deep blue light. The entire ship hummed with impossible energy. "Pull back!" shouted Vecran. "Get us out of its path." The small vessel moved aside, trembling from the shockwaves as the Vengeance entered the atmosphere. Clouds twisted around it like storms fleeing a god. As it neared the surface, a voice echoed across every channel, every frequency in the galaxy. "Protocol 2, Restoration." The message repeated in hundreds of languages. It reached every corner of known space. The galaxy froze in silence. On Earth, ancient machines buried deep under the ground came alive. Cities once turned to dust began to hum with light. Towers rose from ruins. Oceans shimmered with strange patterns of energy. And in the heart of the ship, deep within its glowing core, something new began to form. A chamber filled with light, like the birth of a star. Inside that chamber, shapes appeared. Human shapes. Transparent, glowing, forming out of pure energy. They were coming back. From orbit, Vecran watched in awe. "They're rebuilding themselves," he said quietly. The scientist stared, speechless. "How? Their species died thousands of years ago." Vecran's voice trembled. "Maybe they never really died." The ship continued to broadcast its message. "Restoration in progress. Do not interfere." But not everyone in the galaxy listened. The Jar Emperor, furious over the loss of his armadas, swore vengeance. "If the humans are reborn," he roared, "then we will end them again, forever." He ordered the largest army in history to prepare for war. Billions of soldiers. Tens of thousands of ships. Every empire watching, waiting to see if the ghosts of humanity would rise or fall. And deep in the clouds of Earth, the Vengeance glowed brighter, as if it already knew what was coming. Inside its core, the voices of millions whispered in unison, calm, united, and cold. "If they come again, they will not return." As Vecran's small ship turned away from Earth, the Admiral looked one last time at the glowing planet below. He felt something strange, something he couldn't explain, not fear, not awe, something older, something almost sacred, hope. He whispered softly to himself, "Maybe the galaxy needs them again." Behind him, the HSS Vengeance rose slowly back into orbit, its lights burning brighter than ever. It was no longer just a guardian, it was becoming a creator. And somewhere, deep inside its glowing heart, the first human voice spoke again after 1,000 years. "We're home." The galaxy had not known fear for a long time. But now every star system whispered the same name again, humanity. It had started with the light above Earth. The Vengeance had awakened, and strange energy had filled the void around the planet. Every scanner, every satellite, every fleet saw it, a storm of power unlike anything recorded before. And then came the message. "Humanity has returned. Protocol 2. Restoration is active. Do not interfere. The Galactic Council gathered in chaos. Some said to wait. Others demanded to strike before humanity grew strong again. But fear always makes leaders blind, and fear won. 3 weeks later, the largest combined fleet in history left orbit around the Jar homeworld, over 50,000 ships from 20 different empires. Battleships, carriers, dreadnoughts, war drones, plasma hives, all heading for one small blue planet. Their goal was simple: erase Earth before its secret could rise again. Admiral Vecran watched helplessly from his own vessel. He had tried to warn them. "You don't understand," he had said. "They're not using weapons like ours. You can't fight what you don't understand." No one listened. The galaxies might march toward Earth. When the fleet arrived, they saw it. The HSS Vengeance, still silent in orbit, glowing faintly above the clouds. Below it, Earth had changed. Once dead continents now shimmered with blue lights. Giant patterns glowed across the oceans, forming rings that pulsed like a heartbeat. The air shimmered with strange energy waves. The alien commanders laughed. "This is their great defense?" One sneered. "A planet of ghosts and light?" The order was given: attack. Thousands of ships fired at once. Beams of plasma, antimatter torpedoes, gravity weapons, all hurled toward Earth. The sky turned white with destruction, but before the fire reached the atmosphere, everything stopped. The beams froze mid-space. Time itself seemed to pause. Then, one by one, the projectiles turned around too and shot back. In less than 3 seconds, 500 alien ships exploded. The fleet panicked. Sensors screamed. Pilots shouted for orders, and then they saw it. The Vengeance had moved. No longer a silent watcher, it now burned with blue and white light. Its hull shifted like liquid metal, and strange circular symbols glowed across it. The ship's voice echoed through every frequency. "You were warned." A wave of pure energy pulsed outward. Every enemy ship caught in its path vanished. Not destroyed, not broken, simply erased from existence. The surviving ships tried to scatter, but space itself bent around them. Gravity fields twisted like whirlpools, pulling ships into invisible traps. One commander screamed into his comms, "It's rewriting physics. Our weapons don't work." Another voice replied, terrified, "It's not just a ship, it's a god." From his hidden vessel far behind the front lines, Admiral Vecran watched the impossible happen. He saw one alien dreadnought fire a desperate barrage at the Vengeance, and the human ship didn't even move. The shots bent away, curving harmlessly into space. Then, with calm precision, the Vengeance responded. A single beam of white light struck the dreadnought. It didn't explode. It disappeared. No debris, no radiation, just emptiness. And then something even stranger began. Across the galaxy, long-dead human satellites suddenly came online. Old human colonies, forgotten for millennia, powered up again. Their systems connected, forming a glowing network through space. The Vengeance was awakening something larger. The Ark network, humanity's hidden legacy, spread across thousands of systems. Every glowing point of light was another ship, another defense platform, another sleeping guardian waiting for the same signal. And one by one, they woke. The alien armada began to retreat. But it was already too late. From the darkness behind them, new shapes appeared. Hundreds of human ships identical to the Vengeance but smaller. Their hulls shimmered with the same living metal. Their engines pulsed like hearts. They didn't chase. They didn't speak. They simply appeared, surrounding the alien fleet like silent watchers. The alien commander begged for mercy. "We surrender. Please stop." But the Vengeance answered in a calm, human voice. "Humanity remembers." The light grew blinding, and in a single flash, the entire alien fleet vanished. Not destroyed. Not killed. Just gone. Like dust erased from the universe. When the light faded, Earth floated alone again. The skies were quiet. The war was over before it had truly begun. In the silence, the Vengeance turned toward the planet. Its hull split open, revealing glowing structures inside, like a city being born from its heart. Humanoid figures stepped out, made of light and energy, descending slowly toward Earth. They were human, or something beyond human now. The rebirth had begun. Far away, In the Galactic Council chambers, every empire sat frozen. No one spoke. No one dared to. The message came through every system again, carried by light, voice, and memory. Humanity does not seek war. But if you bring war again, you will bring your own extinction. Admiral Vecran watched from orbit. His hands trembled, but his eyes burned with wonder. He whispered softly, "They didn't return to conquer." He smiled faintly. "They returned to remind us." Above him, the vengeance shone brighter than any sun, its human voice echoing through the stars. "We are humanity, and we are not done yet." The galaxy was quiet again. The stars looked peaceful, but every world that had seen the light of the vengeance remembered what happened. No one dared to come near Earth now. The planet that was once silent was alive again, glowing softly like a blue jewel in the dark. From orbit, the HSS Vengeance floated like a guardian angel. Its once black hull now shone silver and blue, alive with energy. Inside it, millions of human minds, the digital souls of the lost, and began to awaken. But this time, something was different. They were not only memories anymore, they were becoming human again. On the surface of Earth, the ruins of old cities shimmered with new life. Buildings rebuilt themselves from nanosteel and light. Trees grew again in places where nothing had survived for ages. The oceans, once grey and poisoned, sparkled blue as they healed. And in the center of what was once North America, a great city rose from the ground, shining towers of glass and white light, reaching for the sky. Its name appeared on every old human system that came online: New Dawn. Inside that city, a single figure stood at the edge of a balcony, overlooking the reborn world. Her name was Commander Elara Wynn. She had been one of the last humans to enter the ARC program, a soldier who had volunteered to preserve the human spirit before the fall. Now she was alive again, her body built from energy and light, but her mind, and still human. She whispered softly, "We came back." Behind her, the AI core of the Vengeance spoke in a deep, calm voice. "Protocol 2 complete. Restoration successful. Humanity restored." Elara turned toward the glowing sphere that floated in the center of the chamber. "And the galaxy?" she asked. "Afraid," the AI replied simply. "But watching," Elara sighed. "Good, they should watch. But not with fear, with understanding." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, strange signals appeared. Human satellites, old, ancient, began transmitting peaceful messages. No threats, no warnings, just a simple phrase: we are alive. We remember peace. The other civilizations didn't know what to think. Some were terrified. Some were curious. A few, the brave ones, sent small ships toward Earth not to attack but to talk. Admiral Vecran was on one of those ships. He had seen everything: the destruction, the miracle, the rebirth. Now he returned to see what had become of the planet he once thought was a grave. As his ship entered Earth's orbit, he saw green continents and blue seas, clouds glowing with silver light. It didn't look like the old Earth he had seen in the records. It looked new. The Vengeance greeted him with a soft pulse of light. "Welcome, Admiral. You came in peace. You are safe here." Vecran smiled weakly. "I came to understand." "Then you will." The Admiral was escorted down to New Dawn. The city was silent but alive. Glowing streets, hovering drones planting trees, and tall figures of humans made of light walking calmly among them. When Elara approached, Vecran bowed slightly. "I thought your kind was gone forever," he said quietly. Elara smiled. "We were, but humanity doesn't die, it evolves." He looked around, amazed. "You could have destroyed all of us, yet you rebuilt instead." Elara nodded. "War made us vanish, but peace brought us back." She looked toward the horizon where the Vengeance hung like a bright moon. "We kept one promise," she continued, "to protect Earth, but now we make another, to protect everyone who seeks peace." Vecran's eyes widened. "You would defend others, even those who once tried to destroy you?" She smiled gently. "That's what makes us human." Days later, the Galactic Council received a transmission, the first direct communication from humanity in 1,000 years. The message was short, clear and filled with calm authority. "This is Commander Elara Wynn of Earth. Humanity has returned, not to rule, not to conquer, but to remind the stars that life must stand together. The age of fear is over. The age of unity begins." Across the galaxy the message echoed. Some cheered, some cried, some didn't believe it. But everywhere hope began to grow again. Old enemies paused their wars. Scientists studied the strange energy that had restored Earth. Children on faraway worlds looked up at the stars and whispered, "The humans came back." And somewhere deep in the galaxy, one alien child asked her father, "Will they ever come to us?" The father smiled. "If we need them, they will." In orbit, the Vengeance drifted above the glowing Earth, silent once more. Its purpose had changed. It was no longer just a weapon. It had become a beacon. Inside its heart, the voices of billions of humans spoke together. One voice, calm and proud. "We are the children of Earth. We remember the dark and we choose the light. We fell, but we rose again, and now we guide the stars." Commander Alara looked to the sky as dawn broke over the new world. The sunlight touched her face, warm and soft. "The first true sunrise in 1,000 years," she whispered. "Home." The Vengeance glowed brighter, sending one last message into the stars, a message that every being could understand. No matter their world, no matter their language, humanity is back. And for the first time in ages, the galaxy didn't tremble, it smiled.